joints get rolled up. Learn that in Amsterdam.
Hello, fools. This is the podcast On Average Fools, episode 12. I'm your host, On Average Joe. Today, we're going to be talking about becoming content. So, I haven't made a video in like a really long time, maybe like 2-3 weeks. I honestly, I was making videos like weekly, but then I was like, I don't know. I gotta make better quality content. I feel like my content quality was deteriorating if I had that deadline of a week. But I haven't made a video in like a couple weeks now. Maybe I think two weeks or 3 weeks. And I'm not trying to be lazy or anything. I recently it's in the video, but I recently left my previous job at an e-com company. It was like an unpaid internship. It was they were basically teaching me how to make money through selling online products and shit. You already know all this. It's all in my previous video about what is your truth, about how, you know, I was in it for the money and shit, but I was like, fuck this. I'm gonna leave because I wasn't doing good mentally. The thing is, I'm a minimalist, right? So I don't spend money on fucking anything. Like, I track my spending, and I somehow spend just close to $1,000 a month. Sometimes I'm like, how do I even spend that much when I don't spend money on anything? Like, the last day I spent money was like Sunday, and it's like Wednesday right now. You know what I mean? Or Saturday. But anyways, I wanted to. I was like, why am I here? You know, like this job isn't making me feel happy. Like, the reason why we have jobs in the first place is to get money. And I wasn't even spending money on fucking anything. So I was like, hey, why am I like torturing myself basically if I don't even want to be here? So I started applying to places, and I applied to a real estate company, and now there's like 150 applicants, and I was one person who got chosen out of the 150. And the thing is, I never went to college. I never went to university. I never took post-secondary education just because I didn't want to start that financial trap. Like, when I was in grade 12, I had an idea that there is a financial trap, that the beginning of it is working at a job. The beginning of it is getting you in debt. So when you're out of college or when you're out of university, you have to get a job in order to pay off that debt, or else OSAP's going to come get you, or whatever, whatever debt collectors it is. I don't know what it is because I never went, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, this is definitely like the first trap. So I'm going to try to avoid it. And another thing is, I was interested in film, and I didn't want to go because I was like, the film industry, or like, I saw this video by Casey Neistat. I'll pull it up right here. Basically, in this video, he says that don't waste your time in film school, because film school was the only post-secondary I was going to take. And then this guy says, this guy that I looked up to at the time, I still look up to him. He's a pretty cool guy, but like, I got his tattoo on my wrist, work harder, just because of how much I liked him. But the guy I looked up to, Casey Neistat, he's basically like, don't waste your time in film school, because we're at a place right now where you could buy a camera, you could use your cell phone, have a camera, you can make videos that reach tens of thousands or millions or hundreds of millions of views, and you don't need the formalities they teach you in film school. Instead, take the money that you would have went to go to film school, take that money and spend it on living life. So that whole mentality of just spending that money on experience, and then basically from that experience you create content out of it. So I was like, okay, if I can not get into the financial trap, and B, create content based off experience, I'll just do that. And I've been following that path for 3 years, but I was like, yo, I need to make money still. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, the best option would be to get into the film industry. I mentioned it in this video that led you to this podcast, but I got into the film industry like right after high school. And it was cool. You know, I was on set. I saw famous people and stuff, which was pretty cool. But I don't know. It just didn't provide that contentment for me. And it made me realize, like, it's because I don't know, I felt like a loser at that job, because it's either I was doing security, like watching something for 12 hours a day. Like, how fucking boring is that? I was like sitting in a parking lot, or like I'd watch like a picture car, which is like the car they use in the movie set. I would like sit there and watch that for like 12 hours. You know how boring that is? Like, I wanted to blow my brains out. You know what I mean? Or if it wasn't that, I'd be like a production assistant for the locations department, and I would like throw out the garbage. And I was like, okay, am I in film, or am I a garbage man? You know, I was like, this is bullshit, bro. Like, I remember at one point, I was working on the set of Grand Army, and I was changing the garbages. I smelled like ass. And then after, one of the actors, he pulls up with his like Porsche or with his like Lambo. It was a nice car. All I can remember is that. I don't know what it was. I'm not a big car guy. But I remember me thinking, I was like, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something different. And see, the thing is, it's not his fault that like he's driving in a nice car and I'm all dirty. It's my fault. I need to figure out how to be happy with the work I'm doing. So that's why I was just like, okay, that film job didn't provide me contentment. And then after film, I got into the e-commerce stuff, and that was like all for the money. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, I'm gonna just get rich, and then all my problems will go away. I'm not even rich now, but that shit did not help me, you know? That didn't help me at all. So that just made me like kind of more sad. So I was like, I think a better place to strive is a place of contentment. And I was talking to my friend. I was like, okay, does contentment mean like, he said it means like you're not happy, you're not sad. I disagree. Like, I've Googled it, so I'm kind of biased, but it was like a place of satisfaction, like when you're finally satisfied with where you are at in life and you're grateful for it. And I felt like ever since high school, this time is the place where I felt most content with myself. When I was in the film industry, I was working like not 80 hours, maybe like, definitely more than 40 hours. I was working like 12 times. Hey, Google, what's 12 times 5? I can't do the math right now.
The answer is 60.
I was working 60 hours a week. Just fucked. I know. And then I was at my ecom job. I was working significantly less, like 6 hours a day. So I was working 30 hours a week, but it was just work I had no connection to. And I just felt terrible about myself every single day. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, why am I spending so much time, or why am I guiding my life towards something that's making me so unhappy? You know, like, it's really easy to stay at whatever path you're in because you're comfortable with it. But if you take a risk and you do something different, it's like this. You stay at this job or stay at this situation in life. Hold on. Is this on autofocus? That is. Oops. You stay at the situation in life like you're level 5. Level 5 level of happiness. This is where you are right now. There's a chance where you could be a level 10 or a level 9 or a level 8, just a higher percentage of happiness if you were to just take a bigger risk. And the thing is, I applied to these places and they were risky because, you know, I had to get my resume in check. I have no education experience. It's based off of my own skills that I developed as a filmmaker by myself on my free time. So there's a huge risk. But there's a bigger risk in staying at a job or staying at a situation you absolutely hate. That's the bigger risk, because I felt like if I stayed there, my whole persona or my whole character all the positives that I have will go away and all the negative stuff will be amplified. And I didn't want that. I felt terrible. Someone's FaceTiming me. Hold on. Basically, I felt like if I stayed at my job that I disliked, I would be more of a negative person, because like I'll just be fucking complaining about everything versus like me actually doing something that I want with my time and me actually enjoying like what I do. I think it's very important to have like a sense of connection to the work you're doing, or at least doing something you're passionate about. Like I'm passionate about filmmaking. I've been doing this shit for free for myself since grade 4. And that's why I'm like, okay, it's stupid. Why am I staying at this fucking place that I hate when I could be doing something where like I create content for a living and I can make money off of it? So there was a risk to try and look for something better. But it's taking that risk, that high risk can lead you to a place of more happiness than what you previously were. And I think it's important just for your own personal shit, you know, like just to feel good, you know, because I think for me, the most important thing for me, like I'm a minimalist because I don't like buying shit, but right now, I don't really care about money as much. Like I'm comfortable with where I'm at. I don't care about like being mega rich or super rich, because I don't know. I obsessed with it in the past for some reason, because I felt like I needed it for some reason. I needed it to have other people envy me, which is dumb. And you know what it was from? It was from like watching like David Dobrik and shit. And I'm like, yo, this guy's like 21 and this guy's like living his fucking best life. Like I need to be rich so I can do that and I can make videos like that. See, that's dumb. That's envy right there. You know, everyone's on their own path. Everyone's doing their own shit. And money is not the root of all evil. I don't think so. But money is not the end goal. Money is a tool in order for you to get where you want to go. And I was like, money is important, but what's more important for me is to do what I want with my time. So I got this real estate gig where I actually work editing podcasts. I taught myself how to edit podcasts. The one you're watching right now, all edited by me. I've taught myself how to do all this, and it just made me feel better. It made me feel content with myself, because now I'm at a place where I can create content and make money off of my content creation. Even though it's not my own content, I'm still utilizing my passions in order to make a living. That's more important to me. Doing what you want with your time. Because now I basically work like my day job, content creation and brand building, and then I work my YouTube channel where it's content creation and brand building. So both situations, so it's like a mix. I have this picture on my phone. It's like overall work satisfaction, day job, and side hustle. And if those two things can utilize both of the same skills, that's where you'll find contentment. That's where I found contentment. And I do understand that work is just a part of your life, but becoming like in your 20s, I feel like my teens was just fucking around, but in my 20s, it's like more building a foundation for my life of how I want it to look like in the future. There's this quote I saw. I have this Google Chrome extension called Momentum. I was like, it had a quote today. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. And I think that's important. I think being happy now is important. Like, it's not all about delayed gratification. See, but that's biased, because all I do is delayed gratification. I barely have fun in the moment. The most fun I have is like when I'm chilling with my friends, or like when I'm like riding my motorcycle, you know. But I feel like delayed gratification is tricky, because when I was working on my ecom stuff, I thought that was delayed gratification. I was like, okay, I will reap the rewards of having money later. But I think it's just designing your life right now so you will be happy in the moment and in the future. That's more important. So now I feel like I'm at a place where I designed my life where I can finally be content with what I have and what I do. With my work, I'm making YouTube videos. I'm making money now off Patreon, not YouTube. $6, that's completely fine for me, you know. It's just a proof of concept that, hey, you are making money. You are doing what you like with your skills and you're making money. And then I have an actual day job where I make money off of the same thing that I do for free for myself. So my work's good. I'm at a point, I think this right now is where I'm peak, like my body is like the peak potential. I'm like pretty ripped. I'm doing all right for myself. I'm pretty built. I count my calories. I do bear cardio. Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty good health wise. I'm pretty good wealth wise. Like I have a pretty high net worth. For my age, I don't want to seem like cocky. Like there's people who obviously have more money than me, but I don't want to say the exact amount of money I have just because I don't know if it'll like bite me in the ass later. You know what I mean? But it's definitely a good amount. It's not 6 figures, but it's 5 figures. And it's just a good amount. Good amount where, especially because I don't spend money too. So it makes it even better. But yeah, I feel good. I feel good about the money, the work, good group of friends, and YouTube videos that I enjoy making. Because, in September, I started to create like TikTok content because I was like, I need to blow up on TikTok. Like that'll be a good personal branding move. But I don't know, I was just making cringe ass TikTok content. Like I fucking hated it. You know what I mean? So, and that goes back to the whole thing of doing what you want with your time. When I was I would be literally on TikTok for 4 hours a day because I hired a mentor and he told me to go on the For You page, see what's trending, and then do that. Like, just basically copy it. And I was like, okay, first of all, 4 hours is a long fucking time. Second of all, I don't want to copy anyone. Like, I want to be original. Like, I feel like YouTube is the only place where you can be original because TikTok, to get big, you need to copy other people's content. For YouTube, you're making shit just because you like doing shit. Instagram, I feel like Instagram is like, it's more like influencer shit, you know? Like I met an influencer in real life and I still follow her on Instagram. I'm like, some of the content she makes, I'm like, okay, that's like ugly. Like, I don't want to make any of that, you know? So I don't want to be a TikToker. I don't want to be an Instagram influencer. I don't want to be a Twitch streamer. You know, I'm not fucking perfect live. Like that would be so ass if I did that. So I tried it once. I tried to stream on Twitch once when I was like rock climbing. I was like, this is a terrible idea. So I don't want to stream. I don't want to do TikTok. I don't want to do Instagram. YouTube is the perfect platform for me because I can create content and I can articulate myself where if I fuck up my sentences, I could just edit it so I don't have to be live. I don't have to copy other people's shit. I could just be genuinely who I am. And I think that goes back to the whole point. With my work, I feel like when I was working at that shitty job and shitty place, I feel like I wasn't myself. And that...
I miss you 'cause I got issues.
I felt like it wasn't just that I was working at a job that I didn't like, but I felt like I was not me anymore. Like I felt like I was just a more depressed version of myself, which is terrible. And I didn't want to go back to that. Like in high school, I was such an energetic, enthusiastic person. And after high school, my ex left me and my grandmother died at like the same time, like around the same couple months. So I took a huge dip in how I was as a person emotionally, and I felt like that I was just super drained. And then I was working at a job I didn't like, so I was super drained still. After I got over those situations, I still had the shitty job. So I was like, part of me is still lingering, that bad part of me, or that negative part of me. And then working at the econ place, I was like, it's still here. But now that I'm doing what I want, what is the word again? Content. Now I'm content. Now I'm happy. Now I'm good with myself. But I also think this is not going to last forever. Because as humans, when we get comfortable, we want the next thing. We are not happy with what we have, even though we thought it'd be like the best thing in the world. You know what I mean? So now that I feel good, I kind of like, I don't trust the happiness. Maybe it's either this. It's either I don't trust the happiness, and it's like, even though I should just fully embrace what it means to feel good, or it could be like, okay, what's the next thing? And I hate that, that always has to be a next thing, a next goal. It sucks. It's part of the hedonic treadmill, but that's just how we're wired as human beings. Once we get something, we want the next thing. We want something better. And for me, the better thing, even though my life's pretty good right now, no complaints, feel good. If I wanted something better right now, okay, this is how I feel. I was thinking about this when I was meditating. It's like this. I think the people who are my age, who was way better off, they had kind of like something, or they just did it. They got better earlier. It's either they got better earlier, or they had less obstacles to get in the way. So I feel like this is the baseline level of contentment. I started down here about feeling shitty about myself, and now I'm back. Now I'm at this level where I do feel content, but there's a level higher where I can achieve my goals and do what I want to do. So now I feel like I'm at this level. Like, I don't want to say like I'm not happy about it, because I'm fucking so happy about where I'm at in life, but there is something bigger. Like, I have this poster right here. Look, achieve your dreams. I know it's corny as fuck, but like, I got it off of a set, and I thought it was really cool. So I was like, I'm gonna tape this, because even though I arrived at that place of contentment, there's always something better. There's always something more. And I think I said this in my video, but the past couple of videos I had, there's kind of a depressing nihilism towards it. But it's not the nihilism of like, oh, everything's meaningless and nothing matters. It's not like, it is like that, but it's not depressing. Like, I think it's more like nothing matters, so let's do what we want in this lifetime. This lifetime's going to end. I'm very aware of the fact that like whatever I have is temporary. This is why I don't buy anything, because I'm like, yeah, this is literally going to go away. That's why I value experience the most. And that's why I think it's important to achieve your goals, or at least strive for something and try to achieve it. Because I feel like that is the thing that hits that button in my head that says, okay, now I'm happy. So if I were to, from that contentment line, go higher and achieve something better, the things that I would do is get more ripped. I just want to lower my body fat percentage, I guess. That's just consistency of what I'm doing. Like, it's not changing anything up. They're literally consistency. If I had a choice between like the job I have, like the job I have is pretty sick, but if I had the choice, I would just be working on my YouTube channel 24/7 and make money for myself, because I feel like the guy who hired me, it was kind of funny because he was just like, I see you have a very entrepreneurial mindset. And I've always had that since like high school, but I just didn't know how to implement those, like implement the strategies towards the mindset. But now I know. Now it's creating a business for myself, doing what I want. And it involves creating YouTube videos, because there are sources of income like Google Ads, Patreon, affiliate marketing, and sponsorships, and merchandise, which I'm going to get to eventually when I get bigger. It's literally all about just increasing the numbers right now. My choice would be just work on my YouTube channel 24/7, because then I'm working for myself. That would be better. With my friends, I love my group of friends, so I wouldn't change anything about that. You know what? I would develop the relationships more. I like thoroughly. That's what I would do, because I feel like I'm more of a group setting kind of person versus someone who is hanging out with people like one-on-one and develops a relationship like that. And the last thing, I low-key want a girlfriend, you know? It would be nice. That would be another thing. And the last thing in my YouTube channel, honestly, is just to make better content. But that goes back to consistency again. It's just closing that gap that I made a video about two weeks or like 2 months ago by now, probably. Closing that gap. Consistency. So working out, it's just consistency, YouTube consistency. My work, it's just consistency. Like if I want to make YouTube video money off of YouTube, it's just consistency. And friends, that's like a separate thing. Just develop the relationships with them. But yeah, if I were to, but right now I'm at a good, like, I think contentment comes not from achieving what you want to do, but I think it's designing your life for what you want it to look like in 5 years. And it is scary. You do have to take a risk. But see, here's the thing about risk. Life shrinks and expands by your willingness to be risky. You can always be at that baseline level of mediocre happiness and stay comfortable versus actually taking a risk and doing something that will make you feel good. Like some days when I'm creating content, I'm like, is this stuff that I'm even saying, is any of this important? Is anybody even going to be watching? You know, I have doubts. I have doubts in my mind, and I get scared about like what my future is going to be with content creation and my own YouTube and my own business of a YouTube channel. I get scared because I want to make it, but what does making it even mean? Making it, for me, it means to make a living off of YouTube videos. I don't care about like ultimate richness and ultimate like being mega rich with it. As long as I'm making a living and I'm making like just enough where I can survive off of purely my YouTube videos. But see, a part of me, it's risky because I watch my videos or like I'm creating content and I'm like, is any of this stuff important? Is anybody going to watch? You know? And sometimes I'm like, should I even do this? Like, is there any point in any of this if like it's going nowhere? But then I look at all the people who I look up to and they went through years and years and years of like nobody watching their shit. And it gives me a sense of hope because that's me right now. I just have to put those years in, put those hours in. But it's just like, am I even smart enough to articulate myself and like create an idea or have an idea, create a meaningful video out of it and articulate myself well enough so that people will think this is good content. This is good. I want to subscribe. I want to like help him with Patreon, you know. Thanks for subscribing again. But it's just like that. It's just like, are people going to think like, is this good enough? You know, maybe I'm just overthinking shit, to be honest, because some people, they don't start like as young as I did. Like I started so fucking young, but it's just doubt, you know. Everyone has doubts. And even though I advocate about like following your dreams and, you know, taking the path unknown, it still scares me to do all this. Because what if it's just like, nobody's immune to it, you know. It's like, what, like you think to yourself, like, what if it doesn't work out? What if it all goes away? But I try not to think of that. I try not to have a plan B, because I'm like, this is my plan A. Like, this is it. I know nothing more than to create content and to do this shit. So this is all I got. Like, I'm all in. There's nothing else which can like satisfy me or fulfill me as much, you know. But yeah, that's the whole topic about contentment. It's just it's a process that I've been trying to figure out for the past couple of years, and it's weird, you know. It's weird that I actually feel good. Someone told me I'm a fucking sadist. Like I just like to fucking put myself through hardship, or like to feel pain, you know. But that's like the whole thing I was saying in my YouTube video. Like, it's like I wanted to feel pain to draw from experience to make good art, but that's such a shitty relationship to have with yourself, you know. I feel like to make it is true to a degree. To make good art, you need to feel something, you know. Also, not to do it to an extent where like it actually fucks you up, you know. Because then, yes, you are making good art, but then if you're not happy, like when you go to bed at night, what's the point? I was gonna do a podcast with someone else, but like it's COVID right now, and I'm trying to be safe and not mingle with people besides like my immediate friend group. So you got solo podcast for now. I promise you that the work's going to get better when I can meet people, because I want to start podcasting basically with people from every area of life, and I want to be a good podcast host. See, the thing is, sometimes I get awkward as fuck when I talk to people. Like, you know, I think every conversation you have, there's just bound to be just awkward silence. But then when you podcast with someone, it's just like, oh, fuck, you got to say something. You got to say something. You know what I mean? So it's just like figuring out what to say when I podcast to people, and I think also another thing, I need to be smarter, you know. Like, I want to say I'm dumb, but I would definitely say like, see, this is another thing. Not going to school, because my friends would like lightly roast me, you know what I mean, about like not going to school and shit, not going to college. I felt like I'm getting like dumber, you know. So I'm trying to pick up on reading books more and things like that, but I need to broaden my horizons with my vocabulary and my overall knowledge, so I can talk about just random things with different people. But I think even if I do all that, I think my whole process, my niche is still going to stay in that meaning and happiness genre of life, you know, because I was telling my friends over the weekend, I was telling them about like the hardships I've gone through, because I've gone through hardships that I don't want to share publicly on a public platform. But I was telling them, I was like, honestly, like a little part of me thinks I need to go to therapy just because of like all the traumatic fucked up shit that I've endured through life. But fuck, what was my point to this? I don't even fucking remember. But yeah, I've gone through like a lot of shit. And I felt like that has set me back a little bit with just like what I want to do. Because here's the thing. It felt like my brain was on survival mode versus creative mode. Like I want to create, I want to do stuff. I want to do stuff that's interesting to me. But I'm also on survival mode. Like, fuck, I need to survive this traumatic shit. You know, I think that would be one of my videos, like in the future, not now, because I need to dissect it properly. But like maybe like the survival versus creative mentality. Yeah, I think that's definitely a future project I want to work on. Another project I'm actually working on with my cousin Ronaldin. It's probably going to be next week, not next week, but next video. It's about Asian Pacific Islander month. So basically, I think this month, June, is going to be Asian Pacific Islander month. So I have like bare cousins. I have like so many fucking cousins. So I wanted to make a video about family, like what it means to have that sense of community, because I felt like, at least with my family, my immediate family, I didn't feel as close with. But when I was with my cousins or like all my aunts and uncles, we actually felt like a community. There's like fucking 100 of us, I'm pretty sure, like aunts, uncles, cousins combined, a big fucking family. But I wanted to make a video about family, what it means. Like that, I think that's a strong Filipino value that that they have, like the culture of Philippines, like family comes first. There's like this Spanish quote, it's like "Es todo a family" or something. Okay, I'm probably butchering it, so don't take my word for any of that. But I was like, okay, that's probably gonna be my next video. I'm doing like like meetings with my cousins next week. And see, that's the thing too. Okay, I feel like even though I'm making this project super sick, I'm still like not confident enough where I can podcast like random people. Like all the people I've podcast with was people I was like relatively close to, friends. My family, my cousin was like the last one, but doing it with like kind of like strangers is like just nervous to me, you know. It's still nervous, because like I'm like, what do I say? Like how do I talk to strangers? Like I can easily talk to strangers when I'm traveling, but like how do I talk to strangers in a sense of like I'm creating content with them? And now I remember the thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah, with the trauma. So since I have all this like fucked up shit in my head, I feel like I needed to create my niche towards happiness and fulfillment and meaning, just because I was getting a lack of it growing up. You know, I remember when I was like in grade 9, I was walking to class. This was like, it was like the winter term. I was walking to class. I was like, so is this it? Like, is this life? And I was just sad. I was like, why do I feel so sad? Like going to class, you know? Maybe it's because I didn't want to learn about geography, but it's just like, even now, some days, I still get that where I'm like, am I doing everything right? Like, am I doing everything in a way where it's hitting that button in my head that says, okay, now I'm happy? For the most part, I think so. You know, but I that's why I still want to continue with that whole niche of meaning and happiness, because I'm still trying to find it on myself, but I wonder how other people find it. Like, I wonder how they hit that button in their head that says, okay, now I'm happy. Like, what drives them? Like, what drives you? That's why I want to podcast with other people. But like, man's getting nervous still. And like, I can't chill with people because of COVID, even though I'm vaccinated. It's just risky. It's a risky thing to do. And yeah, I also want to get just better at kind of like my charisma and improv skills. I feel like I'm pretty good now. Like I'm pretty decent, but there's always room for improvement. Like this is the first time I'm doing a podcast by myself, just nonstop talking for like an hour. So that's why I think my improv skills are pretty good, and my charisma skills. Like I feel like I'm energized most days, and I talk. Okay, when I'm with my friends, I don't shut the fuck up. So that's another reason why I'm like, okay, maybe I should just podcast by myself because I won't shut the fuck up, which is true. But see, the thing is, when I was fucking working at my other jobs, I was like silent as fuck. I'm pretty sure I was like a little bit depressed, Yeah, it fucked me up, and I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I just wanted to do my own shit, and I didn't even know what my own shit was. Like, what it was the thing that would make me feel good. I feel like even 6 months ago, when I was working at that job, I was like, "Okay, YouTube is my way out of this shit. Like, this is how I'm gonna get out." That's why I was like posting weekly, but it was like such shitty videos, so it just made me feel like even more shit. I'm like, God damn, is anything gonna make me feel good? I was like, the only thing I have left is fucking working out, and I was fat as fuck in January, bro. Like, I'll show you a picture. I was literally, I was chubby. I was chubby right here. Now, I'm doing all right, But yeah, I feel like I'm at a good point. I'm content. But there's always room to improve. There's always the next thing. What is the next thing? The next thing for me is I want to travel again. I've traveled before a lot, but I want to travel again. And I feel like the only thing that really ignited like that, the shit right here, in your fucking heart, was to meet new people and to experience new things. I think coming down to my core values, it's experience. And the experience is meeting new people, doing new things, learning from that, and then creating content based off that. So I could still figure out how to win in the economic capitalistic way of life, you capitalistic pig, but it's also a way for me to feel good. I saw this, my friend's post the other day was talking about, or today, it was like, what would you do if you didn't have to be a productive member in a capitalistic society? And I was like, honestly, I would literally just make videos and travel, which is what I'm fucking doing, when I'm not working. So that's why I'm like, okay, if I do it good enough, I could still play that role in the capitalistic society where I create a business out of making videos, so I can just make videos, travel, and experience life. Honestly, it's a pretty fucked up thought, but when I was going through the dark place of my life back in 2019, this was when my ex left me and my grandmother was in the hospital, and I'll be honest, because I gotta be vulnerable with you guys. You paid for that extra tier, of my vulnerability, a deeper sense of connection with me, I didn't want to continue living. Like, I felt like I wanted to kill myself. I knew I wouldn't kill myself because, I don't know, it's just fucked up. Like, too fucked up, I think. Like, planning it out and shit. But I took that statement in my head where I was like, let me kill my past life. Let me kill all the hurt in my current situation and become a better version of myself. And that is what I've been working towards ever since then. And it took a lot of hard work, a lot of resilience, a lot of consistency and determination, but I got there. right now, I got there. Or 2 weeks ago when I quit my old job, I got there. But it was hard. It was hard, man. Like in the moment when you're all fucked up, you're just fucked up. Like there's literally nothing you can do. Like nothing can convince you about anything. And the people who I have in my life, I met them not at the fucked up part of my life. And I'm kind of glad that I did, because I don't think I'd be the truest form of myself when I was meeting them. Like I feel like if I meet people now, the best version of myself, then I can actually portray who I am as a person, which is more important. I feel like someone told me this 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And I was like, I don't know, maybe just like inflating my own ego, bro. But he was just like, you seem comfortable in your own skin. But at the time I didn't. Not at all. Now I do. Now I don't even know what the fuck that saying like truly means, but like being comfortable with yourself and who you are. Now I arrived at that place, because at the time when he told me that, I was awkward as fuck. And I wasn't doing shit. Yo, I was at this party, like with him. And yo, I'm not good at parties. Like I don't know what to do with my hands, bro. So I was at this party and there's just like a bunch of fucking people, and I got high. That was like my first mistake. See, this is why I don't get high anymore. But I got high, and then after I was just like talking to people, and then people, this was like a college party. People were telling me about like, oh, what they're doing in school and shit. And they're like, what are you doing? I didn't have shit, bro. This was literally before I started creating my YouTube videos. I was like, nothing. You know, I think at the time I was focusing so much on hedonic pleasure, which is why a part of me thinks I can't fucking have any hedonic pleasure now, because I don't know, a part of me like thinks like I'm going to revert back to my old self. But I can't have any hedonic pleasure because, you know, I need to work for something in the future. I think it's a balance though. You know, working hard for the future so you can reap the rewards later, but also being happy in the moment. But at the time, I was just being happy in the moment. I didn't give a fuck about like any fucking thing in the future. I was like, let me just chill with my friends, feel good. I did feel good, but I was like, I was fat. I was skinny fat, not built. I had a okay group of friends. Definitely socially awkward. That was a big thing. You know why I was socially awkward though? It's because my first job, my film job, where I told you I worked 60 hours a week, that shit was like actually depressing as fuck. I think that was the lowest point of my fucking life. Because I would sit in my car for 12 hours watching like some random shit. No social interaction at all. My social battery was fucking nothing. And all I would do is work overnight shifts. 12 hours in the fucking dark. It'd be 3 fucking a.m. I'm eating like cold ass chicken and fucking broccoli. And I'm like, all right, this is my life. Like that's depressing as fuck. You know what I mean? And that ruined my whole social self, as well as my character, you know? And then the new ecom job, I got my character back, or I got my social shit back, but it wasn't my character. I never got my character. Like, I feel like in high school, I was peak. See, but I also don't want to be the fucking people that like peak in high school, you know? Like, I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't want to be one of those guys. Like, I'll actually be like, that'll actually be ass. But at the time, my peak was in high school because I felt good about myself. I felt good about just like the way I carried myself. That was the whole thing. But that's not my peak anymore. This is my peak right now. Who I am at this very moment. And it's because I worked hard. It's because I found contentment. And it's because I planned for the future. I planned for the future 3 years ago to get where I am right now. And this is going to be temporary. I'm probably not going to be happy within next 3 months. Next 3 months, what day is it? It's fucking May 26th. Guaranteed September of 2021, I'm going to want something else. I'm going to want something different. I think for the next 3 months when it's the summer, I'm just going to chill with my friends, do my shit. But in September 2021, I need something different. I need to hit that button on my head that says, okay, now you're happy. It's going to be fucking down again. I got to switch it back up, do something different. And I think it's doubling down on my YouTube channel, because everyone's going to be back in school. So it's up to me. It's up to me to do this shit. And no one's telling me what to do. It's all me. It's all up to me, which is a scary thought, but it's also something that's designed for me because, oh, fuck, I just realized I'm just taking this shit apart, but like that's for the wires. Fuck. Okay, anyways, it's all up to me. Because nobody, okay, this is the thing. I was always like in high school, I was like, I'll fucking show them. I'll prove them wrong. But there's no one to prove wrong. Like, nobody's out to get you. It's literally just you. It's you, your own goals, because nobody cares about your life goals. Nobody cares about what you want to do. It's literally up to you. So if it is up to you, what is going to make you hit that button in your head that says, okay, now I'm happy? It's going to look different. It's going to look different for you. It's going to look different for me. And I don't even know. Sometimes I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. And I don't know if what I'm doing is right. But I try my best. I try my best to figure out what's going to make me happy and what's going to make me feel good. And meet people we're all on the pursuit of that, though. That's why I'm like, I could fucking podcast anybody, to be honest. But then there's people that are living lives that they just don't feel good, and they just accepted that as reality. Like, the first person that comes to mind is my dad. He wanted to become a pilot engineer, like a plane engineer. But he settled because my grandfather got him a job at a post office when he was like 25. And he was in school for like animation, I'm pretty sure. So he wanted to, he had dreams and ambitions, but he stopped because something was handed to him. And it's not hard. No, it is hard. It's hard when you're in a situation where it's comfortable, but a part of you wants to get out. I think some people are born with that inner drive to get the fuck out, I think for me, I don't know if I'm born with that drive, but it's definitely like just me wanting to feel what's the best in my fucking chest, like truly inside of me, what's going to make me feel good. And I'm still in that pursuit. But most days I wake up, I feel good about who I am right now. That's all that matters. I still have my goals, but as long as I feel good right now in this moment. And I wish, if you're watching this video, if you stayed this fucking hour of me ranting to my fucking microphone, if you stayed, I wish that you just figure out what it is that you want to do and just do that. That's it. If you don't know what you want to do, test out different things and then something will stick. I believe all of us have a certain calling in life. And I think I found mine. Yeah. Anyways, that's today's podcast, episode 13 of Unaverage Fools. I'm so glad you're watching. Thank you for subscribing to my Patreon. I wish you the best week, the best of luck. And yeah, and stay on average, fools.
Self-feel motherfucking personal, son. It's enough gas in the world for all.